Welcome to Creating for the Creator. I'm Elijah. This is
Noah, and we are shining our light in the darkness.
So Noah. How do we meet? How do we get here today?
You know, it's crazy, especially with this digital age that we live in. It's oftentimes like you hear about people meeting on social media and just like instantly connecting, but this kind of felt like divine. Like I remember praying for like a videographer, like, oh, like give me somebody like who's creative, like in the same aspect of it, and then even connecting with somebody, and then going through the process, and then understanding like, is it something that not that I'm looking for, but like you also gotta see where everything adds up. So then circling back, I'm seeing your content you were shooting in the church, and it was an artist performing. I'm like, hold on, it looks good. All right, reach out, follow. Then just continue like to just support, show interest, and then okay, finally we just meet, and it was like we meet when we went to Panera, and I was currently on a fast, and I'm just like, I don't know, instantly I'm just like, okay, I see what God could potentially do here, and so I kind of clung to that, and then we kept meeting, and just talking about creating, and we would create here and there. But then now it's like a couple months ago, it's full circle. Like, no, we're doing it now.
I remember last December when we first met.
Yeah.
Leaving that conversation, I was like, this is weird, because I was going into it as like business, like
Yes.
not necessarily, but like
yes,
you were wanting someone to help you create content.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, bet. Leaving that, I was like, I don't think that's what this is.
Yeah.
Like, this could be something.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until we met next time at honeymoon
Yeah.
that I was like, man, like I didn't actually realize, like you were praying for a friend and somebody to create with, but I was like, I've always wanted that, but I never prayed for it.
Yeah.
But like it's been a blessing just to like bounce ideas off each other and to be able to like create in that way. Like we haven't necessarily shot
Like
content
fully,
for you
like,
or made a
dove
video
into it.
for you,
Right.
but like it's what we're doing.
Right.
We're encouraging one another to be able to create here online to shine the light of Jesus around.
And I think that's what makes it so different. Like it makes it more fellowship based. And like you said, like I think that's the general preference today is going into it with the business mindset, because it's just kind of like what humanity has shifted to. It's like I have to not get something out of somebody, but like let's get to the down gritty of what we're doing. Like let's get down to the nitty gritty and what is this going to be. But sometimes I think this is living proof of like we kept connecting to connect the dots. We kept meeting up. Sometimes we didn't meet up. It would be, okay, y'all have this other thing that was going on, or this, and this. But always in that back end of that encouragement. And I think that's the biggest thing of today. And what Creating for the Creator is encouraging people to step out in faith. It's going to be sometimes shameful. It's going to be sometimes, what am I even doing? It's going to be you created, and how we were talking about earlier, you see the video and like, it's terrible. Or it's going to be like this is the first video episode, you want it to be perfect so bad, you become paralyzed.
Yeah.
So like, let's dive into that. Like, what do you see as, what does Creating for the Creator look like for you? Like, what is the meaning behind it? Why does it, when you say this, like, why is this your movement? Why is it the movement?
Yeah, so I don't want it to just be like a thing in my bio or a thing that like I post on social media, like caption and whatnot. It all stems from wanting to be the light in the darkness. And like before I was running my own business, I was working for somebody else, still doing creative stuff. And I was like, I want to be creating for God.
Ooh, I like that.
And I want to be able to use what I'm doing as an act of worship.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily like Christian based.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is an opportunity that I can show the people around me like what it looks like to live like Jesus.
Yeah.
And I think I did that well.
Yeah.
And because a lot of times I was the only Christian they were seeing in a week.
Yeah.
And if I show up and I'm acting a certain way and talking a certain way, they're gonna be like, just a normal guy,
Right.
just a normal guy.
Right.
I don't want to be a normal guy.
Yeah.
So when I started creating my own business, and the crazy part is, I created Elijah Productions, which was originally,
Yes.
but I started drawing this crown on some of my stuff. I didn't know why. But at the beginning of the year, I got the vision to change my name, my brand, to Crown Media.
Mm.
And I was like, whoa, I've been using this crown as an act and representation of creating for the creator. And that's when all the pieces kind of
Yeah.
all like connected and was like, all right, it's Crown Media.
Yep.
We're creating for the creator.
Yep.
We're born to create, kind of just creating this movement. And when we connected,
Yeah.
I said that line and you were like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa. And that's when I was like, all right, we need to create a podcast.
Yeah.
And that's the name that it
Yep.
should be.
Yep.
That's the brand. Because I don't want it to be something for me. I
Yeah.
want to be something that like other Christians can
Yeah.
do.
And that's why when you said that, though, to me, it was like, no, I think that it does need to be the name, because it's not just like, for instance, if I tagline Fount in something, okay, you know who it is. But creating for the creator is like, yes, it's you. And yes, it's something that you've created, but it's bigger than you. So I was like, nah, that's what it needs to be. Because it's like, I feel like that draws in everybody. Creating isn't just creating videos. Creating isn't just creating music. Creating is, we were created in the image of God.
Who's the creator?
Exactly. So his creativity rubs off to us. And if you're not actively moving in creativity, then it turns into, you're not fulfilling a purpose that God put you on here for. And I think that even stems over to who we are as creatives, to be able to create for him, but also how do we get here? So like, for instance, for me with Fount and my name with Noah, like growing up, it was a battle, like, wanting the enemy creeping in, want me to change my name, not wanting me to use my name, middle name. When people ask me what's your middle name, and I would tell them I don't have one. And to it being my brand, and to me being into turning it into a rebrand, almost like yes, I was saved, I'm moving through Jesus Christ, but it's almost like a reborn aspect of it, because I feel like I'm calling into, like, okay, I'm stepping into that surrenderance. I'm stepping into that obedience roll call of like, all right, stop playing around and create for me. Because I didn't did the trends of like following a TikTok trend and just all sounds.
You do the Renegade?
Yeah, like like doing all that type of stuff. Like, but it never got me over the hump. I would get to the hump and fall down. When I first started creating for Jesus on a Christian campus and being the light, when there was a lot of darkness around, not saying that I'm perfect by any means, but like, I'm like thinking of a Christian campus. Some of the things that we're doing on here shouldn't be of the world. Like, we should kind of, where's that being set apart? And as soon as I took that step in creating for him, I mean, he just was planting like rows and acres of seeds and flowers. And it's like, to see them flourish with you coming back home, into us connecting in the summertime, and still being in a stage of refinement, and then seeing how it's a two-way street between us connecting, then going into, okay, God, I know this is you in your hand, coming from your name being Elijah to mine being Noah, to see that intertwining.
Crazy.
To seeing like, okay, you pick up in certain areas where I lack, I'll pick up in certain areas where you lack, to just see the overall fellowship is like, okay, this is why I can pour my time into it, because I don't even look at it as I'm pouring my time into you, which I am. It's a fellowship. But at the end of the day, we're coming together to pour our time into God. So I think that stems off into like who we are, and like going into more of it, like, for you, who are you in the sense of Christ, and how did you get to this boldness of creating for Christ? Because I know for me, I was so in the world that coming over like fully surrendering to Jesus Christ is like, yo, if I'm gonna go so hard for the world And I think this goes out to a lot of people out there as well. Like, if you're going so hard for the world, you have to go, if not the same amount of hard for Christ, if not harder.
Yeah.
Because for me, like when I look about and think about like some of the things that I've done and the enemy tried to put that shame on me, which sometimes I need it. Like and I don't even say it's always an enemy to put the shame on me because I know God, like we see it with Job. He easily will allow the devil to go because it's shaping you.
Yeah.
And I feel like God has like showed me my past, not to shame me in just like an evil way to keep me down, but to be like, nah, like Lord, you really had your hand over me. Like you was really like guiding me through this life. And so that's why I'm like, for me, it's like I go so hard and be so vulnerable and be so truthful and so honest about Christ. Because it was a time where I put on a mask and ran and had different versions of Noah in different environments. And now I'm like, I want to be the same Noah everywhere. So like what's for the ones listening that don't know?
In high school, not this the Elijah you see in 2026 was not the same Elijah you saw.
Yes.
Drastically different.
Yes.
I started praying for boldness, and didn't see any fruit. But I see now, like after you said that, you're like, when did you get boldness? I was like, oh, I prayed for that in high school. But if I was to take a test, I would score 51% introvert, 49% extrovert. Like my dad, super extrovert. Mom, super introvert. So I'm there right in the middle.
I can relate to that. I can relate.
I'm there right in the middle. But I was a really closed off. Like as a kid, I was super shy.
Yeah.
Didn't talk a lot. But in high school, I was at youth group, and they did this thing where they did like a tunnel, and you would walk in the youth group, and they like give you high fives. Always hated it. And sometimes I would act a little extra uncomfortable. Just, I don't really know why.
Yeah.
And one time, one of the leaders was like, you need to loosen up. You need to be like more in it. And ever since then, I was just like, boom.
Clicked. Yeah.
And it wasn't until I started like serving in my youth ministry that I started opening up more. It was like, no, this middle schoolers love me. Like the way that I'm acting as a genuine person, who I am as Elijah. And it kind of just progressed and progressed and progressed where people talk to me all the time. They're like, how are you like this? And I was like, you need me back in high school. We wouldn't have talked.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have interacted at all. Like I was super closed off. And now I'm willing to risk that and have a conversation. Is it comfortable? Not all the time. Am I comfortable right now? I mean, a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think it's just continuing to like show up.
Yeah. Yeah. And that uncomfort. Because this is why I always have been like living by is like telling people, it's like you can't change what you can't confront. And a lot of the times, like with me, I was running from like, okay, no, you know what? No, you're not the best thing at basketball right now. You need to work on that. More so just running, okay, I'm on the best team. I'm on this. I could get this. I know I need to get better or could get better. But it's like not fully just being 100% real with yourself in an aspect to make that change. And I think that's like what you've seen is like, okay, yeah, I may be uncomfortable, but I don't like myself being uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to go out and interact. And it's so crazy how God uses, like, for me, like I came out of basketball in that season of, we were talking about the performative season of where like you're just chasing performative rewards, results, whatever it may be. And he took me out of that season, and I like truly didn't care that I like basketball. Like I stopped playing basketball. Like I truly did not like. If you would have told me talked about basketball, like not that I just had such a furious hate to it, I can talk to you about what I've been through. But genuinely deep down inside, I was like, hey, you wanna go play again? I'm like, no. But he turned that into using how you said about like the youth ministry. He first plugged me in and connected me with a 8th grade team. And I was going in there and just serving, like in the mornings. it was like Friday morning, get up at like 6 in the morning and go work them out before for their school. Like, I'm not seeing what he's doing, but he's really just pouring into me, taking me back to middle school so I can pour into them. Because honestly, in life, it's just, because I do basketball training, and it's literally nothing that I'm doing is special at all to get these results and growth. Like, I just had a kid I was training who played basketball for the first time, and literally is a freshman and literally got the most improved player. And it's nothing that I've simply done. It's simply only been me pouring confidence and pouring Christ-like confidence into him. And Christ is literally changing him from the inside out. This kid like came in so shy, like wasn't talking, and then like, but he's using me to see and relate. Like, oh, I've been through that stage. I know how to relate to somebody. Like, it's even another kid that I'm training because when I was younger, and that's to get on to like we can dive into that a long time. Like, that's even like why now, like drinking the soursop juice and just trying to change everything. Like, and it's so crazy how God took me back to relate through somebody else to me. Because for instance, when I was younger, I had a asthma attack, real bad. Like, was in the hospital, damn near died, and was like, it was kind of like all just a shift happened.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck? Like, are we serious? Like, I don't even remember. Like, the first part before up to that, you spitting, but before up to that, I don't remember. Like, I kind of remember like bits and pieces of life, but when that came, it was like, all right, a new life entered. And so I got put on like this steroid, this prednisone, and everything was changing. Anger was building up. Like, at this time, I'm still knowing I know who Jesus is because like it was just my dad. He was like the one who told me about and helped me. And I'm not going to school. Like, I was a kid in school. Like, like they talk about Santa Claus. I'm the one that at home I'm learning that he's not real. And I'm coming in to tell people, and I'm the one getting in trouble for it. So like having that being able to speak up, but then also feel like it's turned against you because you're getting into trouble for it. So like I am almost being not shamed for telling the truth. So then you kind of get this like, what do I even do? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? But to go back on to seeing how the enemy is moving in someone else's life and it impacts me. For instance, the kid I'm training, 5th grade, going through the same asthma thing that I'm going through, and I'm seeing their emotions change. But God's using that to take me back into my old life to not close the door, but to come at peace with it.
Mm-hmm.
So like how you said, like coming out that shell, like to now see that you came to peace with it, because it was walking through a tunnel, being so I don't even want to use the word insecure, but nervous in a sense, to now you're in front of a camera. Like, that's crazy.
But now we can connect with those kids.
Exactly.
And they can look up to us. Because you got to think, like, when you were that age, like, you looked up to other people.
Yes.
And we're now in that position, which is weird. It's been really weird for me.
Yes.
Because I've grown up, my dad's a campus minister, so I've grown up around college students my entire life.
Yeah.
This is the first time in my life, this past year is the first time in my life that I'm the oldest. Like, there's not really many people that I can look up to.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot more people below me. But we got to be able to use that. Like,
yes.
I can't sit around and be like, oh, man, like, no, it's my time to step up to the plate, swing that bat, and hit those homers.
Yes.
Like, it's time now for us to go to reach out to those kids, because you know what it's like to be in a 5th grade with asthma.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it's like. You've been through it. But now they see you and they're like, he's a cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day whether they make a basket or not. That's not the point of it.
Facts.
The point is how they feel about it at home.
Mm-hmm.
And what we were talking about earlier, you might be the only Christian in that kid's life.
Facts. And it's crazy you said it, because I remember that it always stuck with me when someone said, he was like, don't be afraid to share the gospel, because you may, like you said, you may be the only person that even has that they even run into to give them the opportunity to hear it. Like, when I started listening to that, and that was like a business perspective, like, don't scare to tell somebody the business idea that you have, to like the opportunity that you can have for them, because you may be the only person that tells them that. But that even goes into Jesus. You may be the only person that can tell. Like, that's why I always stop. And it's always been like a trend for me. Not a trend, but like, if I see a person walking and who's less fortunate than me, I'm quick to just reach out and be like, hey, do you need a ride? And it's so crazy because I'm literally like, out here, I connected with somebody who I literally simply was like, I felt it was getting real cold. I wasn't really doing much of nothing. Really joyriding, if I'm being honest. And it was like, the guy was like, instantly, ask if she needs something. All of a sudden, I'm like connecting. Like, what the heck, Lord? Like, you really
I did
are
that 2 years
moving.
ago. I stopped at a business
Yeah.
because I wanted to like reach out to them. They were closed, but there was this dude screaming in the streets, and I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
He was blind and he needed a ride.
Mm-hmm.
I picked a random guy up,
Yeah.
and I got to work the next day. I was like, "Yeah, I picked a homeless guy up who was blind yesterday and drove him somewhere." No one believed me. I was like, "No, I'm being so for real right now."
Yeah.
I'm that type of person too that was like, what are they gonna do? Like, was I afraid? Yes.
Yeah.
Like, but I was like, I gotta do this right now.
Yeah. And I think that's that conviction of it. But I think that's even like building a relationship with the creator. Like sometimes I just know like if I don't do this, not that on the back end I'm gonna get punished for it, but like potentially you're gonna have something that's like you disobeyed me. Like literally I'm just looking at him like in the hand of a father, like, yo, this is too heavy on my heart. Like why do I keep like even with myself trying to say no, I can't it won't I can't physically say no. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, you have to do it. 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 And if you don't do it, my mind just goes into like, okay, God, this, not that he'll do this, but like, okay, God won't let this happen that I'm working on, or don't do this. Like, it's almost like a tactic for myself to put myself in that obedience of it. Because I don't know if you the same way, but like, I'm so hard on myself. And that's why, like, even in this season of like, I feel like God has me in a season of like giving grace to myself, but also like He first started me on others. Because at the end of the day, we're sinners. We're born in sin. It's engraved in our flesh. I had to learn that like He's taken me back through my sin to show me, I guess, like how much I hate it. And I feel like that's the season I'm in because it's first started off like just graduated, getting out of school, graduating college, and like knowing there's so much in store for me. But what does that look like? Not the fear of the unknown, but like I know it's so much to come. Once again, like we were talking about, like you must get paralyzed. Like you know you have so much here to do. You almost like, oh, you're young. We may put ourselves in that boat of like, oh, I'm young. I have time. But like how you were just saying, I know what it feels like to be in fifth grade. I literally felt like fifth grade was just yesterday. And so that's so crazy to me too. Like, I'm so glad I'm in this stage of like almost reliving life. Because growing up, I knew what life was, but I didn't, I guess, fully process it. I was just living. Like now understanding that there is real consequences in life. Like sometimes it'll just hit me like, yo, I could really go to jail right now. If something like, if I was, whatever may have been on. Like growing up, I had that. I knew that could happen. I just didn't. Not that I didn't care, but like, I'm gonna start in my car. But I'm like, I know that can happen. I definitely just started the car. That's crazy. But like, I know that can happen. I'm like, no, it won't happen to me. But putting myself in like a real person's shoes now, I was like, no, it will happen to you.
Yeah.
If you don't change your life and get right with Christ, like God can punish you. And I think that's why I'm also giving myself grace because in the times He didn't punish me, I feel like the times I learned the most because I've almost punished myself for it in a different outlet. Like I scared myself so much. So no, that's just good that made me just think of that though. And you was like, that fifth grade, like, yo, I was just there yesterday. Like I was just in fifth grade yesterday. So that's crazy.
Let's talk a little bit about what our plans for this podcast for the future of creating for the creator.
Yep.
What's kind of your goal, and I'll kind of share what my vision is.
So goals for creating for the creator is simply just, for my aspect of it, is vulnerability. Like being truthful and understanding that this walk comes with times you're gonna be unsure. Times you're gonna question yourself. Times you're gonna, am I doing this thing right? Am I hearing God's voice? What does that look like? But at the end of the day, It's showing up every day, Matthew 16:24. It's picking up your cross and denying your flesh every day. And sometimes even with that, it's like denying your flesh. What I've kind of learned is that sometimes denying your flesh is diving into your flesh to understand your flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Why do I even like this? What door did I open to that allowed this to even be ingrained in me? Well, not, well, we know obviously you go back into, okay, Adam and Eve, okay, that's why the flesh is ingrained, but like, what personal preference? Why is this? Do I like this? Why do I fall
Yeah.
into the lust? Why do I fall into the pornography? Why do I fall into whatever smoking? Why do I fall into the gluttony? Why do I fall into all these different things? Why do I fall into that? And I feel like for me, creating for him allows me not to be so self-driven and self-focused
Yep.
as I once was. So like just everyday life was driven by a basketball. Everyday life was driven by going D1. Everyday
Mm-hmm.
life was driven by getting your college paid for. Everyday life was driven by money, going and get the most, however much money, how fresh I can be, but understanding that creating for the creator is simple. Some days it's gonna be just sitting down. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
Some days it's gonna be, you know what, we flying out. I'm going to South by Southwest. Okay, some more. But learning to creating for the creator isn't always a set, isn't always a script.
Mm-hmm.
Be truthful, because
Yeah.
I feel like diving into going back into the performative basis is we can oftentimes dive into a false identity of who we think we are, because Lord knows that's what he's been burning off. Like he's showing me that all these, like when you was growing up, you had like like clung to things and people because of your environment. That's not who
Mm-hmm.
you truly are. You're not that. So, but plans wise, I think like seeing what God truly got, because just the way how we connected, how we, I don't want to say, I don't want to keep saying like hard on ourselves, but like push ourselves to the next level of like surrender, sacrifice, giving it all to God. Like for instance, even you, like, you're like, no, this has to work. Like, not that it's like me forcing my emotional will on it, but like
Mm-hmm.
God kind of gave me the vision, and I know it's going to be times of struggle.
Yep.
So just keep showing up. I think creating for the creator is just consistency, is just showing up when it doesn't, when you talk about performative, like when you're getting 5 views, 15 views,
Mm-hmm.
because you're not showing up for, yes, I'm showing up for you all, who the viewer, I'm wanting to impact one person. But if I'm being truthfully honest, I'm showing up for God. If
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be
For
like
sure.
100% real, like yes, I love everyone watching. Like truly deep down, I like just have been that fellowship aspect. Like I truly love everybody who I come in contact with. But I'm not doing it for everybody anymore, because I once did it for
Yeah.
everybody, and I had a void of the century. Like I had something that I was trying to feel so much with assurance, and just feeling that. I don't have time for that no more. So
Yeah.
it's like I'm doing it for you, God, because you're the one that's gonna pave the steps. So, but what do you think about? What's your plans? What's your vision? What's God downloading to you?
My vision for this is to be a space to inspire and impact other creatives to be creating for the creator, and to go out and to be the light.
Yep.
I don't want this to be us.
Yes.
Like I want this. I want to build a community around this.
Yes.
Like I want to
You want to be
eventually.
us, like literally, yeah.
Yes, like the kingdom. Like I don't really care where it goes.
Yeah.
I'm just down for the ride. And
Ooh, that's
I
powerful.
think as long as we consistently show up and create, then God's going to use it.
Mm,
Because we both know that we're called to do this.
yeah, it's
It doesn't
inevitable.
matter what anyone else says here,
100%.
as long as we show up and do it. So
100%. That was good. Down. I'm just down for the ride. No, for real. And I think that's so good, because then I don't feel like you put no expectation on it. Like obviously, yes, you have goals. Like obviously, yes, okay, you want to get the most out of it, 1,000%. But when we come into it like this, understanding that this is a platform within the kingdom platform,
yeah,
it's already anointed. The name
game
itself,
over.
you know what I'm saying? The name itself, creating for the creator, is already anointed. So, what would you say to, if you could leave the viewer the family who's watching, the person, whoever it may be, what is one thing that you would tell them? And okay, if they were struggling, I don't care if they're struggling. I don't care if they're doing like they're on the prime, they're in the middle, the median. What is one, I guess, now I don't want to say universal to make it just so hard to think about, but what is one thing that you would leave them with to, I guess, keep them going forward in their time of, because even if you're moving in, let's say you're at your peak,
Yeah.
sometimes you get complacent. So how do they keep moving in that? If you're at your lowest, sometimes I don't want to say you feel so down in the dumps that you feel like you can't get up. So they need a word. Like, what's something that you would tell them? Like, how do you tell them to keep going? In a relatability factor of like them not understanding that you come from a place, we come from a place of we had to keep going. We could have stopped this. We could have like stopped creating months ago.
Yeah. That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I think what it mainly comes down to is my faith in God. I think I've told God yes. Where like there was a moment in my life where I almost packed up everything and moved to Louisville because I felt like God was telling me to do that.
Yeah.
Turns out it wasn't, but it wasn't necessarily a test. It was God going, "Are you willing to do this?
Let's see what you got going on." Yeah.
So he kept me in this season for now, and now I'm in this new season. So I think it's the Sunday school answer of Jesus. It's also like you gotta do this for yourself. Like have I thought about giving up? 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But I want to see where this goes.
That's good.
So I think for anyone else that may be struggling through that, it's like show up for yourself.
And to add on to that, because I'm right there with you on that. Like I don't think you could have said that better. Because honestly, 100%, I'm right with you. I guess what I would leave the viewer, whoever's watching, is that vision that God gave you wasn't for a reason.
It's a vision from God.
Exactly.
It's a vision from
God downloaded it to you himself. And I'm seeing it flourish so much. Because even when I was a kid, the way I was thinking and like the vision that God gave me is literally what I'm walking out right now. Okay, yes, I didn't see the falling. Yes, I made it such a perfect fairy tale life.
Yeah.
But now, like, learn, and the other thing I will leave you with is learn that the fall, oh my goodness, you are going to get up like so strong if you want to though. Because when I fall, like that next get up, like, because what I really realized, like I fall and it's like getting shorter. Like I fall, okay, I'll be in the fall for 3 weeks. Okay. Then this time I fell, it's like a week. Like, okay, so I see, and also give yourself grace, because I'm so like, nobody harder on themselves. Like, I feel like personally than me. Like, I'll tell myself a new one because, what do you mean you just did this to just do this?
I tell people, I was like, you can't tell me anything I haven't said 3 feet from the mirror.
For real. And
like,
so that's why.
Like, I've said it to myself.
Yeah, and I think that's good though. And I think that's so good because now when somebody tells it to you, it's almost like an affirmation, like, okay, oh God, you told me this before. You put this in my heart to tell me this. So just honestly for the person watching, just keep on going. Like you don't know who God gonna connect you with. This is like, I mean, the biggest example that
we didn't know each other 3 months ago.
You know what I'm saying? Like didn't know each other 3 months ago, didn't know that this is what it would be coming to, and didn't know that on the back end, we gotta pray for this in like certain different aspects and periods of our life. And that, oh my gosh, I guess I got too much to leave them with. I've been seeing this like not a trend, but like it's been popping up constantly on my feed. Is the season that you're living in now is what you prayed for years, months, weeks ago.
Yeah, I see that too.
So live it out. And I'm like, that is such home hitting because I think oftentimes we pray so much of like a cry out and like, God, I need you, that we tend to forget what we asked And then like to see now, like, God, I've asked you for a podcast. Like, what?
If I would have told myself, if I would have shown my 13-year-old self
Yeah.
what I've done, what I've created, who I've met, who I've been around, what I've done, I would have flipped out. Like I would have been like, nah, there ain't no way you did that. Like there
Yeah.
ain't no way. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's just through faithfulness in God.
Yeah. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I think it's just keep creating
For the Creator.
for the Creator. Keep being yourself. Keep being a humble servant. And just keep moving through God. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. So with that, what else you got for him?
Yeah,
You
we
just
ended on that. We ended on
yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying.
That's it.
Yeah, that's how I'm like. Let me add my
Sum
little
that up.
cut. Nah, that was good.
That's good.